Good evening, I'm Stacey Amos, and here's some of the top stories we have for you tonight. A shootout on St. Croix leaves one man dead and another injured. A grieving family holds a press conference in Frederiksted, and it's another victory for Jeffrey Prosser. These stories and more are up next on News Channel 8. In our top story tonight, a 27-year-old man is dead and another young man fights for his life after a deadly shootout in the Paradise section of St. Croix. News Channel 8's Wes Small has the story.
Thank you very much, Stacy. What a way to start off the new year. It was shortly before 8 o'clock last night that there was an apparent shootout that has left at least one 27-year-old dead, and we have a 23-year-old we believe is fighting for his life. Right now, we are at Paradise Mills Housing Community on St. Croix. Last night, around 10 minutes before 8, putting at 7:50 p.m. in the area of Paradise Mills, St. Croix Housing Community, in the area of the parking lot in Building 1, we have at least two male individuals that were shot in apparently a shootout. We have a 27-year-old who has now been identified as Manuel Alfonseca Jr., and apparently he was shot numerous times, especially the upper part of his body. Later on, unfortunately, he succumbed to his injuries. He is dead. We have a second victim, a 23-year-old, his name unidentified. He was hit in his left upper shoulder, the right side of his back. We believe that he is still fighting for his life. If you know anything about this homicide, you should call 712-6037. Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS, or you could call 911. Also, in the Lorraine Village area, there was 10 shots at least fired last night. Unbelievable. We have in one woman's apartment reports from Melody Rames saying that the bullet went through the window, through the shade or curtain, through a couch, and through her TV set. Unbelievable way to start off the new year. Reckless endangerment charges. VIPD are looking at several suspects or a suspect. No one has been apprehended or arrested for that yet, but look for it to come. Still looking for people in this homicide and for the shooting at Lorraine Village. At this time, we don't believe that these two incidents are connected, but the investigators are working that situation out. What a night for emergency responders. What a time to start off the new year at Paradise Mills Housing Community on St. Croix. I'm Wes Small for News Channel 8.
Thanks, Wes. We pray for that man's safe recovery. In other news, recently a 30-year-old man was shot and killed by the VIPD on St. Croix. News Channel 8's Wes Small has the details.
Thank you very much, Stacy. All right, we are in Frederiksted, and the press conference is just finished with Kendall Peterson, better known as Siegel. Horrible circumstances at the beginning of the year. Earlier, we believe it was January the 5th, that Ken Peterson Jr. Was shot and killed apparently by police officers as they executed warrants. Several search warrants were executed that day, we understand. Representing the Peterson family is well-renowned lawyer, defense attorney mostly, Marshall Webster, who has an office in Frederiksted. With that, we are going to go right now to the press conference involving the 30-year-old Ken Peterson Jr., who was killed by VIPD police officers. Let's then go to the press conference with his dad, Siegel.
All our rights has been violated as citizens of these Virgin Islands. We're here to speak on the murder and the execution of Kendall Peterson Jr. We're here to speak on all the false reports that public safety has been putting in the newspaper. They have made it sure that the public will believe that my son was committing a crime when they murdered him, which in truth, he was in his bed with his wife and his 4 kids and his 2 little brothers when they came to his house and put him on his knees and executed him. Number one, the newspaper said that the police report said that they came at 6:30, which number one is the biggest lie. They came between 5 o'clock and 5:15 in the dark. They came fully masked. They came to my house at the same time fully masked down. When I hear my door kicking down and I see a light in my face, all I saw was masked men. I didn't know there was police until I asked, who is this? That is when they told me it's police. I swear they came to kill me. I didn't know that they was at my son's house at the time. But I asked them why they're here. They tell me read the warrant. When I read the warrant, I said, well, here is what you're looking for. This is what you're looking for. Search. Do what you have to do. It's when my little son came over from his brother and told his mother, Mommy, they shoot Ken. When they come in, they meet him face down on the ground. Which in there was to turn him over and administer CPR to him. Okay, so they came here. Nobody can tell me no difference. They came here with the intention of killing my son. This is where they shot my son. The neighbor over there, the neighbor here and the neighbor over there heard him say, and his wife who was right in the bedroom here, heard him say, they shoot me, I mean nothing on me. Everybody heard and they're willing to testify.
He said that before they fired him.
No, he said it after they shoot him. You shoot me, I ain't got nothing on me. Okay? According to the police description, they said they found the gun over in the yard over there. Okay? There is no marker. He having no gun whatsoever.
And they surround the whole building.
And they said they had the building surrounded. So if they had the building surrounded, how this happened? I want the people to understand this. The police did not run the protocol like they're supposed to. My son was never arrested. The AMT said when they reached there, he was face down on the ground. Nobody tried to resuscitate him. They revived him and they took him to the hospital. The police didn't reach to the hospital until 2 o'clock that afternoon. Okay? The medical, whatever you will call it, the surgeon that worked on him came out to the family and told us he's very sorry for what happened because he used all the blood in the hospital and no hospital could have saved this boy's life. He said whoever did this was a very evil person because he had to be on his knees when he was shot. He told us straight up, the bullet went through his ear, went in his body, bounced around and came out his chest. At that time, I went back into the hospital and re-examined my son again because we really thought he had a bullet hole in his chest. When I examined my son, I saw the hole in his ear, confirming what the doctor said.
Right now, let's go to Marshall Webster, family attorney.
As a lawyer, I cannot be critical of the judicial system. But I know that the judiciary system knows that there is a consent decree against the police, the Virgin Police Department, for civil rights violation against Virgin Islanders. And we expect that the judiciary would be very careful when issuing warrants to allow police officers to enter people's homes in the dark with masks on and without knocking and announcing the presence and purpose. In this case, the police department executed more than 6 search warrants because 6 search warrants were on 6 homes, but there were a number of search warrants on people's vehicles as well. However, in every case, on this day, it was January 5th,
Yes.
2012, when they entered people's home between the hours of 5 o'clock and 5:15 a.m. in the morning, in the dark. They entered with masks on their face, and they did not knock and announce their presence and purposes. They just forced their way into people's homes, draw guns on people, their children, and everyone else. And we hope that the judiciary system will take note of this, and that before they issue warrants for police officers to treat the local people like this, that they will be more circumspect, they'll be much more careful in issuing these warrants. In this case, we are not aware of any charges being brought against Kendall Peterson Jr. for anything. All right? We're not aware of any indictment that has been issued against Kendall Peterson Jr. for anything, yet this was a warrant signed by a federal magistrate with no federal counts at all were charged in that that search warrant. And it was just a search warrant. It wasn't an arrest warrant, which tells me that because it was a search warrant and not an arrest warrant, that no formal charges has been filed against Kendall Peterson Jr. and no indictment has been issued against Kendall Peterson Jr. or any of the other 5 people who live in the homes that they invaded, including Mr. Kendall Peterson Sr. The law requires that before a police officer can enter into your home to conduct a search, that they must knock and announce the presence and purpose. In this case, in none of the homes did they knock and announce. Should have come, knock on the door, announce police, and that we're here to serve a search warrant. That's the proper procedure. That is the proper procedure. And once they do that, they have to wait at least 10 to 20 seconds to allow the people inside to open the door to allow them in. There are some exceptions to the knock and announce rule, but in this case, we don't see any exceptions. Now, over at Kendall Peterson's Jr. home, which was very interesting, they put up a sign, you know, the crime scene tapes. They put up a crime scene tapes all around. I come to Mr. Kendall Peterson Sr. home, there were no crime scene tapes. I went to other homes that they searched. That day, there were no crime scene tapes. Why? There was a crime scene where Kendall Peterson Jr. lived. And who created the crime? Who committed the crime? The Virgin Islands Police Department. They committed the crime, and that's why they put up a crime scene tape in that area.
And now, sadly, Kendall Peterson Jr.'s mom cries for justice.
When my son them come over here, they told my son them that my son shot himself.
That's right.
I don't know how you could shoot yourself from the back. You understand me? I want justice for my child. Because my child was a good boy. I need justice, and I want the right justice, and I want it now. You understand me? I want it now.
In Frederickstead, in front of the home of Kendall Siegel Peterson Sr., as their family mourns. I'm Wes Small for News Channel 8.
And when we come back, Jeffrey Prosser wins again. Former ICC President Jeffrey Prosser has just won another round in his fight for the return of his company. News Channel 8's Wes Small is on the phone with the big man himself.
Thank you very much, Stacy. On the line with us then is Jeffrey Prosser. And Jeff, I know you're talking to us from Pennsylvania, I believe. I really appreciate spending time with us. Happy holidays. Again, belated to you and your family. We're going to get right to it. Front page of the St. Croix Avis, judge rules in favor of Prosser's appeal. Jeff, you might remember I said this was like a 15-round heavyweight championship fight. I alluded to that, and you said, yes, Wes, it is. It ain't over till the fat lady sings. Jeff, what round are we in again? And has the fat lady come out of the makeup room or not?
Well, I would say at this point, Wes, we're probably in the 13th round, and the fat lady has certainly started to put on her makeup.
Jeff, let's get to it. Judge Curtis Gomez issued that memo of opinion that he rescinded, I believe, bankruptcy judge Judy Fitzgerald. We've heard her name many times, just like we've heard Mr. Springle, Stan Springle, and it's all about the property of you and your wife, Dawn. Please tell us how you and your legal team feel about this latest round in what looks like is a heavyweight bout.
Well, I would say this, Wes, that the Judge Gomez, the primary decision that Judge Fitzgerald, the bankruptcy court, has relied upon for over 2 years now has been what is commonly referred to as the exemption order, which is what Judge Gomez vacated in this order. And not only did he vacate the order, but he said, and I quote, that he found the judge, in this case Judge Fitzgerald, to be unduly punitive. He found her to have abused her discretion. And he also stated that significantly, that there was no evidence in the record to support what she did.
Jeffrey, what is your next step now with your attorney team?
She's ready to file in all the cases that Judge Fitzgerald used as a fundamental basis for her decisions was her reference and referral to this exemption order, even though, just for the record, we continue to state at all times, that we ought to wait and see what happens at the appellate level. And what we constantly heard from Judge Fitzgerald was, this is the law of the land unless somebody tells me different. And so now somebody has told her different, and every decision, but let's take, for example, what's referred to as the turnover order. That is the big case where she went in and said that even though property was never in my name, it was always in Don's name from 1989, that she was, because this exemption order, she was going to give half of it to the estate and give the estate the right to sell it all, whether Don wanted to or not. Well, what's happened, if you go into the transcripts, which I have, as you might suspect, and you will find, and this is Mr. Attorney Mark Platt, who is the lawyer for RTFC. He states on the record, is undisputed, that the evidence and the opinions and the memorandum from the exemption trial are an integral part of this turnover case. So it was an integral part of that case, and now it's been vacated as wrong. Obviously, any decisions that you came out with relying upon that is wrong.
You'd still have people here in the Virgin Islands that are rooting for you. Is that right?
It's not only right, but I can assure you of this. We're gearing up for our return, and I don't believe our return is far off. And we look forward to getting back to St. Croix, which is our home.
Any last words to the people of the VI before you return?
Well, as I said, Wes, 3 years ago, with that what has happened is a huge conspiracy from the top government officials in the Virgin Islands involving CFC and the trustees, and unfortunately for them, we're still here, and we seem to be the ones landing the punches now.
Now it's time to get your tickets out. Here are the winning lottery numbers. 2889 for the top prize of $175,000. 25916 for $65,000. 16692 for $40,000. 8216 for $30,000. And last but not least, 22710 for $20,000. If you didn't win this time, don't worry. The next drawing is January 19th. We'll be right back. And now here are the winners for the Crucian Carnival Festival. Children's Parade for the troop People Marching Under 50. Our winner was Alfredo Andrews Elementary School for the Flora and Fauna of the Caribbean. Our second runner-up, UMB Kids Festival Troop, and our first runner-up was the 4-H Club. Our troop winners for People Marching Over 50, Ricardo Richards Elementary School. And for individuals, winner was It's a Miracle Footsteps Production. For the Makojumbis, again, Ricardo Richards Elementary School, A Visit to the Orient. For the Steel Pan, our winner, Lou Muckle Steel Pan Orchestra. And for Majorettes, our winner was the Sparkle Light Twirlers, celebrating the Crucian Carnival flavor with our first runner-up, St. Croix Majorettes. We'd like to give a special acknowledgement and honorable mention to the St. Croix Educational Complex Marching Band. For the Adult Parade, the Floop, which is a combination of troop and float. For those under 100, our winner was Gentlemen of Jones, the 60th anniversary. First runner-up, St. Croix Rigadim's Festival Troop, and second runner-up, VI Waste Management's Bag It Up campaign. For Troop, people marching under 100, our winner was the Simply Sophisticated Fun Troop VI Meets Vegas, with our first runner-up, Most Known and Unknown, and our second runner-up, Central High School. Troops for people marching over 100, winner was Lockhart and Associates, and our first runner-up, J&J Fun Troop. For majorettes, the winner was Sparkle Like Twirlers again, and our first runner-up was St. Croix Majorettes. For masqueraders, the winner was West End Masqueraders, and for Steel Pen, winner Superior Court Rising Stars. And for the Road March, our winner was the People's Choice Fusion Band, with our first runner-up being Culture Pan UMB Soldiers, and our second runner-up was Sedung, Jamal, Daddy Jones, and crew.